Have you ever imagined that a homeless teenager sleeping on a freezing bench could one day become a billionaire? What if I told you that a boy who had no home, no money, and no family built a billion-dollar empire before the age of 25? This isn't the story of someone born into wealth. This is the story of a teenager who had absolutely nothing except a dream. A dream so powerful that it carried him from the cold streets of Chicago to the top floors of America's biggest skyscrapers. Stay with me until the end, because this incredible journey proves that your circumstances do not decide your future. This is the story of Jake Miller, the homeless teen who became a billionaire at 25. On a freezing winter night in Chicago, 16-year-old Jake Miller sat alone on an old wooden bench near a train station. The wind howled through the streets. Snow covered the sidewalks. Cars rushed past. People hurried home to warm houses and loving families. But Jake had neither. His father had passed away years earlier, and after losing his mother to a long illness, he found himself completely alone in the world. No home, no money, no one to help him. As he looked at the towering skyscrapers glowing against the dark sky, he made a promise to himself. One day, he would work in one of those buildings, not as a visitor, not as an employee, but as the owner. The next morning, Jake woke up hungry. He checked his pocket. $6. That was all he had left. Most people would have seen $6 as nothing. Jake saw it as a beginning. For months, he struggled to survive. Some nights he slept in homeless shelters. Other nights he slept in abandoned buildings. There were even times when he rode city buses all night just to stay warm. Life was hard, but Jake refused to let hardship defeat him. One afternoon, while searching for a warm place to spend the day, he walked into a public library. That decision changed his life forever. Inside, he discovered thousands of books and free internet access. Every day, he sat at the same computer and began teaching himself business, technology, and computer programming. He read biographies of successful entrepreneurs. He studied the stories of America's biggest companies. While others relaxed after school, Jake spent every spare minute learning. People thought he was wasting his time. Some laughed at him. Others told him to focus on finding a regular job. But Jake ignored them all. Deep inside, he believed his future would be different. Years passed. At 18, Jake completed the first version of a software application he had been building. The app helped delivery companies plan routes more efficiently, save fuel, and improve productivity. Jake believed businesses would love it. They didn't. Nobody signed up. Weeks passed. Nothing happened. Months passed. Still no customers. Every rejection hurt. Every ignored email felt like a failure. Yet Jake continued improving the software. He contacted business owners personally. He listened to their feedback. He worked late into the night fixing problems and adding features. Then one day, a small delivery company in Texas agreed to test the software. The results were incredible. The company reduced operating costs and improved efficiency. The owner was impressed. Soon he recommended the software to friends. Those friends recommended it to others. Slowly, Jake's customer base began to grow. One customer became 10. 10 became 100. 100 became 1,000. For the first time in his life, Jake started earning real money. But instead of spending it on luxury items, he invested every dollar back into his business. He hired talented programmers. He improved the technology. He expanded customer support. While many young people dreamed of becoming rich, Jake focused on building value. That decision made all the difference. By age 21, his company employed dozens of workers. By 22, hundreds. By 23, thousands. The company expanded across the United States. Investors started calling. Technology giants wanted partnerships. Business magazines featured his story. News channels described him as one of America's most promising young entrepreneurs. But success brought new challenges. Large corporations began competing against him. Some copied his ideas. Others tried to pressure him into selling. Then, an economic downturn hit. Customers reduced spending. Contracts were canceled. Revenue dropped. Experts predicted his company would fail. For months, Jake worked nearly every waking hour. He remembered the nights he spent sleeping on cold benches. He remembered being hungry. He remembered feeling invisible. Those memories gave him strength. If he could survive homelessness, he could survive this challenge too. Instead of giving up, Jake and his team developed advanced AI-powered logistics technology. The innovation transformed the industry. Businesses saved millions of dollars using his platform. Demand exploded. The company grew faster than ever. Investors returned. New partnerships formed. International expansion followed. Then came the moment that changed everything. One of the world's largest technology corporations offered to buy Jake's company. The offer was worth more than $3 billion. Jake sat quietly in the meeting room. Years earlier, he had been sleeping outside in the freezing cold. Now, billion-dollar executives were asking for his signature. After careful consideration, he accepted the deal. At just 25 years old, Jake Miller officially became a billionaire. The story made headlines across America. People were amazed. How could a homeless teenager achieve something so extraordinary? Yet the most powerful part of the story happened after he became rich. Jake never forgot where he came from. He created foundations to help homeless teenagers. He funded shelters. He provided scholarships. He opened technology training centers. Thousands of young people received opportunities they never would have had otherwise. One winter evening, Jake returned to the train station where he had once slept. The same old bench was still there. As he stood looking at it, he noticed a homeless teenager sitting nearby. The boy looked frightened and hopeless. Jake walked over and sat beside him. "What's your dream?" he asked. The teenager looked surprised. No one had ever asked him that question before. After a long silence, the boy answered softly, "I just want a better life." Jake smiled. He handed the boy a business card and said, "Come see me tomorrow. Your story isn't over yet." Years later, when reporters asked Jake the secret behind his success, he gave a simple answer. "My success didn't start when I made my first $1 million. It started the day I refused to quit." And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. Success is not determined by where you begin. It is determined by whether you keep moving forward when life gives you every reason to stop. Because sometimes, the teenager sleeping on a cold bench today becomes the billionaire in